Hello, this is Chriso, and this is my game, one that I've been working on for the past 3 weeks. In this video, I am just going to kind of describe a few of my issues, how I resolved them, and what the intended goal was for the past 3 weeks. My intended goal was to at least have this hot seat where two people could play side by side on the same computer. For those of you that haven't ever seen this game, essentially it's fancy capture the flag that plays in a chess-like fashion. There's no diagonal movement, but it's all horizontal and vertical. All pieces move one space. The premise of the game is to keep your flag alive and to capture or kill all enemy pieces or capture their flag. The pieces are numbered 1 through 10, flag and bomb. Certain pieces have special moves or features, and other ones are listed as vanilla. For example, flags can't move, bombs can't move, do not explode, but they do kill anything that hits them, unless you have a miner. The miner can disarm or blow up bomb. The scout can move horizontally or vertically across the map up to 9 spaces. The spy can kill the marshal, and the marshal can kill the spy. Depends on who attacks who first. The board itself is a 10 by 10 square with 2 2x2 empty spaces in the center for tactical strategy, 40 pieces on one side and 40 pieces on the other. Right now, all the pieces are randomized. So when you select on these characters, they display what they do. I really wanted to get some information in there so you could see without having to look at portraits and not understand what they were outside of the bomb and the flag. In addition, the material on the opposite side, when it's player 1's turn, player 2's materials are set to blank, and then it flips when it's player 2's turn. As you can see, name Scout, power 2, movement up to 6. So if I move all the way over there and I attack that, my Scout lost to their General. The General can move 1 space, is a power level 9. And I know that's a very, very dangerous character. They don't know where my flag is, but for the sake of finishing this game kind of early, let's say he just took a random left. Blue wins. Initially, how do I get all these pieces set up? How do I get them to move properly? And really the biggest challenge was trying to get the center spots to work properly, especially with the scouts. And I can show that right here. So I moved the scout up once, and before, what it would do was it would allow me to move horizontally across these lakes. So these scouts definitely should not have been able to move across, so I had to do some type check and make sure that those spots were preventing these characters from being able to move in locations they weren't allowed to. Nothing for my min-max AI. I do have a basic, very dumb AI set up with references to the game manager. Briefly talking about where the scouts were able to move across the entire board, including in spots where they shouldn't be able to. I had to create a check right here, looking for these particular spots, and then if it hit one of those spots, I break. In the game manager, where I've actually set up the game board size, some dictionaries for which the characters will be allocated to. Just kind of blitzing through this, I randomly spit them out throughout the entirety of the game board, and then I lock off all locations that are friendly to the current character that's been selected. The 2x2 sections that are in the center, which would be that. and then anything that's outside of the grid, capturing the piece. Basically, it sets up all of the information regarding whether or not something's been captured. This includes some special stuff. So, like, if the marshal has been captured by a spy, it has to check that. And this is also where I happen to find one of my biggest bugs. This bug was essentially if a piece was captured by an enemy piece when you moved onto theirs, your piece would be invalidated, piece would be stuck. Piece would still be there, it'd be nullified. So I had to figure out where the bug was, and on all the other things you could see I did the same thing because it actually made sense, and this one didn't make sense. I also did that here, trying to figure out where exactly the bug was instantiating.